Excuse me. So we just finished doing this beer, New Belgium Triple. Listen to this before you listen to this next section. We're going to do Colette. This is a Saison, absolutely fantastic beer. Let me pull up the score sheet real quick for you guys. I'll go ahead and share this with you. So I'm going to share the guidelines right here, and let's pull up Saison. All right, 25B. So what they have listed here as the classic examples of this beer, and you can see Saison has one of the longest descriptions of all the beers in the BJCP guideline, and that's because it is so, the complexity of this beer is just huge. And I would almost guarantee you that there will be a Saison on the tasting exam, whether it is listed as a Saison or not. And so this is one thing that's happened several times. He'll bring a Saison and tell you it's a triple, or he'll bring a Belgian Gold and tell you that it's a Saison. All these beers look, for the most part, identical, and a lot of the flavors overlap. They're all going to rely pretty heavily on Pils malt. They're all going to have a low hopping rate, but you're going to need to be able to distinguish which esters, phenols, hop flavors go into which one of these buckets, because the three beers are fairly similar. Just like it's hard to tell apart maybe a Pils and a Helles and a premium Czech lager, right? Those beers all have a lot of the same ingredients, a lot of the same flavors. It's the little nuance between them that you're trying to parse out. So be careful if he pours you, it'll probably be beer number 4 or 5, a Saison, a triple, a Belgian Gold. Just note that what you're looking out for is, does it fit in that category? And you need to really know which one's supposed to have more esters, more fruit character, more hoppy, spicy phenols, which one could be hazy. So we'll dive into Saison. If you don't like this Saison, which I think is a great example, there's a lot of other really good choices you can get. Saison DuPont is certainly one of my favorite. Brasserie Belauge, that's my favorite beer on earth and contains my favorite yeast strain, if you're allowed to have a favorite yeast strain. Easier to get is Boulevard's 7, their farmhouse ale, also fantastic. The Fantôme beers are super hit or miss, but Saison DuPont, Boulevard, both very good beers. So we'll go ahead and crack this beer open. And this beer actually has a 4 yeast blend in it. When I worked at BSI, we grew the yeast for this. I can't tell you what the 4 yeasts are, but for a long time they had written on the can that it was a 4 yeast blend, which they don't anymore. Whew. So again, get your nose in that beer right away. And it's just so complex. There are so many yeast-driven flavors going on in this beer. I get a bunch of fruity esters, white pepper, some spicy clove phenols, strawberry, a little bit of hay. There might be some more kind of herbally, earthy hops going on as well. Not really much of any malt aroma though. So again, the important thing here is to comment on every single one of these things listed here. So for malt, I would put no malt aroma. For hops, I would put noble hop varieties, earthy, spicy. For esters, this is where you want to expand. I would put, very yeast-driven aroma, esters of strawberry, There might be a little bit of banana in there. Clove phenols, white pepper phenols. You know, very, very complex yeast esters. Appearance, you can see it's obviously much, much cloudier than this triple, right? Oh, I forgot to mention the color on the triple. For both of these, I would probably put like straw or pale yellow in color. I think straw is a good descriptor. And in large part, you're trying to split the difference for a lot of these. And if you put straw, nobody knows what the hell you really mean. It's like a pretty broad color descriptor. I feel like it can be really light, a little bit darker. And so again, you're trying to kind of like split the difference so you get the points. You know, this definitely has some haze. It is not clear, which for a Saison is fine. You know, if we go look at the appearance for this guy, pale versions are often a distinct pale orange, but maybe pale golden to amber in color. Darker versions may run from copper to dark and brown. Long-lasting, dense, rocky white to ivory head. Clarity is poor to good, though haze is not unexpected in this type of unfiltered beer, effervescent. These are the best descriptions. This beer can be any color you want, right? It can be anything from gold to amber to dark brown. It can be anywhere from clear to hazy. You know, it's the depth and breadth of Saison are huge. It's certainly effervescent. This beer is very well carbonated. It has a nice white head. You can see the head persists just fantastic. It's still good on the triple, but you know, great head retention on the Saison. I would absolutely give it 3 out of 3 for appearance. So mouthfeel, I'd probably say it's medium. It's got a pretty decent mouthfeel. It's certainly not light. I don't get much alcohol from it, although I know it's there. I think this beer is 6.5%. Yeah. So definitely if you have a couple Colettes, you're in trouble. But it has a pretty decent body to it. I do get a little bit of alcohol warmth from it, but it could be from those spicy phenols also. Really good carbonation in your mouth, which does a good job of cleaning off any of the other flavors before you take another drink. In terms of flavor, I definitely get some malt. I'm going to say like cracker, or yeah, like cracker. There's a lot of white pepper and phenolic spice, but in the very beginning, there's some fruitiness. I do get like a little bit of banana isoamyl acetate flavor going on. But that's what's cool about this beer. There's just so much going on. I definitely get some hop flavor as well. Again, kind of noble varieties, a little bit of spice from them, although that could also be playing in with the phenols. And so for the flavor descriptor on here, I would put dry, spicy finish, lots of phenolic flavors, white pepper, some fruity esters as well, and maybe not go into any more on that. Hop flavor present, spicy, noble varietals. The balance is definitely on the dry side, and I'd probably leave it at that. And then for overall impression, this beer is definitely of the land. Like it has spicy phenols. It's fruity. It has some good hop, noble hop flavors. It's nice and dry, even though it's a rather big beer in the sense that it's 6.5%. It's still very drinkable. And for this beer, Saison is certainly my favorite style. I think Colette's a really good example. This is another beer that I'd probably give an excellent to outstanding score to. And again, I would, so the first thing I do is I pick what I think the score should be. So I'm going to say this is an outstanding beer. I'm going to give it a 45 out of 50. In terms of the grading for the exam, I think it's best if it's like guessing a number. And if somebody's going to have you guess between 1 and 10, you certainly don't want to say 10 or 1, because your chance of getting the number wrong are higher. You don't have any kind of hedging on either side. You want to guess 5 or 6, right? Even though this beer is outstanding, I'm going to give it the lowest outstanding score I can, in the hopes that if the judges don't think it's as good as I do, I'm still going to get a lot of points. If the judges think it's even better than I do, I'm still going to get a lot of points. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 again, assuming this is like an A beer. I think the mouth feels pretty perfect on this beer. It's actually hard for me to figure out where I'm going to take any points away from this beer. I would maybe like the aroma to be a little more fruit driven and not as spicy, so I'll take away a point there. Yeah, man, I'm gonna have a hard time stealing all the points from this. I guess I'm just gonna give it an 18 here. Again, it's much more on the spicy side than the fruity side. And if you drink a lot of saisons, you'll notice that the yeast either push it towards kind of spicy phenols or more fruity esters. And this one is certainly more spicy phenols. But again, just an excellent beer overall.